Hey guys, here's just a short little video on the MIFARE fuzzing. So I'm just going to go down to the MIFARE fuzzing app. I'm going to open it up. So as you can see, there's three options. There's the MIFARE Classic 1K, the MIFARE Classic 4K, and the MIFARE Ultralight. Now the Ultralight is more secure than the Classic. But first I'll show you the Classic. So let's just go to Classic 1K. Now they have test values and random values and load UIDs from file. Now as you know, I uploaded files to my Google Drive and submitted the link for loading UIDs from a file. So you may be asking, well, what's the difference between if I just click on random values versus using your file of random values? Well, what I did was I did a lot of in-depth research into the MIFARE cards, and I was able to find a very large amount of what are called property codes. Property codes are essentially a part of the UID that identifies where the card or the fob can be used. So I incorporated those into the UIDs so that a good portion of the UIDs that I randomized has property codes in there. So they only have 266 property codes, and I uploaded 250. So I almost got all of them, and I'm still looking to see if I can get the rest. So let's go to load UIDs from file. So these are the options. We have MIFARE Brute Forcing Classic, MIFARE Brute Forcing Ultralight, MIFARE Classic Known, MIFARE Default Classic, MIFARE Default Ultralight, MIFARE Random Classic, and MIFARE Ultralight Known. So you may ask, what do these mean? So the MIFARE Ultralight Known is a file that has all of the known default and potential values that are commonly used in insecure systems. So this will not work on a system that is sophisticated. It will only work on a system that has vulnerabilities. So if we open up, sorry, I got to go to MIFARE Classic Known or I'll crash the device. So if we go to MIFARE Classic Known and we bring the emulation time down to the minimum, which is 5, and we click Start, you'll see that it's going to go through all of these known values. So as you can see, you can see that there's obvious patterns here. As I said, this will only work on an insecure system that was, implemented by somebody that decided to not change any of the default codes. So this is going to go through all of the known values, and if it's an insecure system, you'll get a hit, and it will unlock the door. And you can see, Cafe Bay, Beef, Food Face, Coffee 00, Dead Co, Dead Food, Bad Beef, Feed Beef, Cafe. So those are all very insecure keys. Now let's go back to the MIFARE Default Classic. So these are all the default UIDs for MIFARE Classic. So if we bring the emulation time down to 5 and we start it, you'll see that they're all default values. So it's not a mixture of default, known, and potential values like on the other file. These are only default values. And again, this will only work on an insecure system. So if we go back and we go to Brute Forcing Classic, now this is a very large file. I believe it's 40 gigabytes or something like that. And it has hundreds of millions of user IDs. Now, it does not cover the full key space because the when I created a algorithm in Python and created a file that had all of the possible values, and I uploaded it to my Flipper, it was crashing the Flipper. For some reason, the Flipper could not handle a file that large. So I don't know if that's just something to do with the Flipper. I'm not sure. So this has hundreds of millions of different values in random order. So if I select this and I bring the emulation time down and I start it, you'll see. So, oh, sorry, no, these are the ones in sequential order. So yeah, so this is in sequential order, meaning it's starting from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and it's ending at F, 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 F. So it'll go through every single possible value up to a maximum, because as I said, I couldn't upload the file that had all of the values because it was crashing the Flipper. But as you can see, it's going through everything possible. So, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then it'll go to 3, 1, blah, 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 blah. Then we have the Ultralight files. So if I go into Ultralight, Ultralight is more secure because it has a larger bit size of the key. I believe it's 32 bits or 56 bits. I don't remember exactly. So if we go to MIFARE default Ultralight, these again are the default codes, but for Ultralight. So as you can see, there's 14 hex characters in this versus 8. So it's a lot more secure. So we're going to bring the emulation time down to the minimum, and we're going to start it. And then here, as you can see, it's going through all of the default values. So again, this only works on an insecure system. If it's a secure system, you're going to want to use the brute forcing Ultralight file. And this is going to, again, throw the kitchen sink, but these are in random order. I am going to create a file that is for classic brute forcing that is in random order, but just give me a little bit of time for that. But as you can see, it's going through a whole bunch of different random values, and statistically speaking, if you're there for long enough, you'll get a hit. But again, it's not particularly a practical attack because you'd be standing at the reader for a significant period of time. It's more of a proof of concept, if you know what I mean. Anyways, so that's it for this video. My next video is going to be on RFID fuzzing, so stay tuned.